Hi, third graders. This is my final mumcha moment that I am going to do. And I want specifically to show you that if you look at the PowerPoint today, there's a template that I'm going to use when I'm doing this mumcha moment. And it's the template that you can use as well. What is a template? A template is a written outline of what I'm going to say. And if you see here that the spaces are really where you're going to kind of fill in your stuff, but all of these words, no matter who the presenter is, are going to actually stay the same. So I'm going to use this template as I answer my question for today. Now, my question is not really my question. My question is Miles's question. So even though I'm doing it, we're doing this one, Miles Atarman right here. Okay, so that's what the page we're going to. And the question is, why do Jewish people read the entire Torah each and every year? So I'm going to go and I'm going to pretend like I'm starting from the beginning right now, and that you've clicked over all the things and you've written your answer to the question. And now you've gotten to the expert video, which is what each of you are going to create and send in. So here we go. And you'll see I'm using this template, which I hope you will use as well to make it a lot easier for you when you're doing your video. So here we go. So pretend like you clicked on expert the mumcha, and I go, hello, third graders. My name is Rabbi Light, and I will be your mumcha for the day. The question I will be answering today is why the Jewish people read the entire Torah each and every year. So go ahead and find this question in your booklet now. This is a great question, and here is what I have learned. It is very important that the Jewish people read the entire story of the Torah each and every year, because it is important that the Jewish people get from the beginning to the end. The question is, how do we do that? We have a book, and every year we begin that book again. So the question is, we need a place where we begin, and we need a place that we end. Now, obviously, the beginning should happen right at the beginning of the year. So when Rosh Hashanah comes around, right, we know we're about to begin the Torah again. However, the funny thing is, when we have the special holidays of Rosh Hashanah, of Yom Kippur, of Sukkot, all of those holidays have special Torah readings that we read just because of that holiday. So it's only at the very end of Sukkot that we can actually start the beginning of the Torah again. And that's why one of the last days of Sukkot we call Simchat Torah. And Simchat Torah is the day where we read the final piece of Torah from the last year and the beginning piece from this year. And then we begin. So if we have to read the entire Torah in 1 year, that means the rabbis actually pretty much had to divide the Torah into the weeks during the year, so that every single Shabbat we read 1/52nd or 1/50th or so of that parsha, of the Torah. So every week we read a little bit, which is kind of a beautiful thing. Now, it just so happens there was a tradition back in the time, the ancient time, when the Israeli Empire was still in existence. So a long, long, long time ago, that people in Israel would actually take 3 years to read the Torah. So each year you would only read a 1/3 of the Torah. But pretty much our tradition today is that we read the entire Torah in 1 year, and then we go back to the beginning again. And I'll just mention one final piece, which is really interesting. The end of the Torah is that the Israelites are kind of just about to cross into the land of Israel. And just before they get there, we turn back all the way to the beginning of the creation story. So isn't that a cool thing? That every single year we almost get to the place of our dreams. The Israelites almost get to have all of their greatest dreams and hopes fulfilled, and then we go back to the beginning, as if we're almost there, but then there's still more to do. Now, for some of us, that could be really sad, right? Oh, we don't actually get to have the dream come true. But then again, it's a beautiful idea that the hope of the dream coming true and getting closer and closer always to the hope of that dream coming true is actually the best of all. Because quite honestly, what happens sometimes when our dreams come true, we kind of say to ourselves, you know what? I always thought that once my dream came true, everything would be amazing for me. I would be so happy. But often what happens is when our dream comes true, we say, there's nothing else for me to live for. There's nothing else that brings excitement to the world. I'd rather work hard to get to that dream than have that dream come true. And maybe that's the great lesson of the Torah, that every single year we read right to the point where we almost get into the land, and then we have to start again anew and say to ourselves, what do I need to do this upcoming year to kind of get all the resources and all the stuff I need to get into the land? So thank you for watching the video today. I hope that you've also become a bit of an expert about the question of why the Jewish people read the Torah each and every year. And good luck on answering the questions I have for you later on in the PowerPoint. Bye, everyone.